Hello, my name is Patrick Dominic Sanchez.
My childhood, I grew up a very happy young boy or young man, I guess, once I got a little older. I was born March 17th, 1957, St. Patrick's Day, in Albuquerque, New Mexico, to Delfino and Agnes Sanchez. I had a very large family, like I had six brothers and sisters. It was kind of neat. We did everything as a family, so we got to share a lot of things. One thing I enjoyed immensely when we were growing up was we used to camp a lot, camp and go fishing. That was kind of our thing. So we'd set up camp for about a week. We had a little camper trailer, and boy, we'd make all our food outside on the fire, and it was just kind of neat to be with all my brothers and sisters and go hiking and fishing and having fun out in the mountains. That was kind of our vacation, to get away from all the chores that we used to do with the ranching and farming and gardens and all that kind of stuff. And we were always busy because we had some land, so we had to farm it, and we had to, like I said, grow our own vegetables. We had a big garden. But you know, once in a while, I was lucky enough as a kid to be able to play some sports. I used to love to play football and basketball. We had our own basketball rim and deal there in the yard, even though it was on dirt. We used to play on dirt, but we used to have a lot of fun. And then when I got to high school, I was a little more independent. I got my license when I was like 16 and was able to drive when I was a junior and had my own truck. And I had a part-time job working construction, helping build homes. So that was kind of nice in the summer. And then after school, I went to school half a day and then worked half a day. So it kept me pretty busy. So that was pretty neat. And I graduated from Valley in 1975. I graduated at 4.0, and then I got into the construction business and became a superintendent, and I got my contractor's license and built many homes for many years. I had a younger brother named Mark. We were 10 days less than a year, so we were pretty much we were pretty close in age. We grew up real tight together. He was a very talented young man. He was going to UNM and studying architecture. We had planned on opening up a construction business together, and unfortunately he died of an accident when he was 21. And boy, that was really hard on me. He was a really neat guy, and he was my best friend at the time. But I know he's in a better place, and he's in heaven looking down at all of us to make sure that we're safe. See you someday. Came from pretty poor beginnings. We just didn't have much growing up. I lost my father when I was 3 months old, but had a very loving family. But had a mom that really cared for us and loved us very much. And back in 1988, we lost her. And that was probably the saddest day of my life. I joined the Navy back in 1989. It was a reserve unit, and it was the Seabees. It was a construction battalion for the United States Navy. I proudly served for about 11 years. I got deployed to all over doing construction projects that the Navy needed. I was a master builder within the construction division for them, and I was able to go to Hawaii and San Diego and Louisiana and different places that they needed my expertise. We built some housing in Hawaii for the officers. That was kind of neat, right on the beach. I was able to do some real nice finish work in San Diego. I worked on a YMCA camp for boys and girls, built some buildings out of masonry, brick and block. In 1993, I was awarded the Navy Achievement Medal, which is one of the highest medals that the service gives. And it was from some notorious work that I did that saved the Navy a lot of money on how I coordinated this job that was signed by the Secretary of the Navy. One of the times that was really special to me is when my daughter was making her first communion, so I had really done well out there, and they acknowledged that, so they changed my airplane ticket and allowed me to come back a day early so I could attend my daughter's first communion. So that was pretty special. In 1993, when I was on active duty, I was stationed in Hawaii for a couple of months, and I made friends with a helicopter pilot, and I was able to fly over an active volcano, and man, that was just unbelievable. It's something that's undescribable. I don't think I'll ever will forget. It was nice to be a part of the Naval Reserves, to be able to serve our country with honor, and to this day it makes me very proud. To have served and helped people in this country. My first job that I got to remember was I was only probably 10 or 11 years old, and me and my brother, we used to go out and cut people's weeds and mow their lawns to make a little extra money. Then when I was about 12, I started making adobe bricks out of mud. And I made them all summer long, and I would sell them to contractors that were building houses in Corrales so they could have for their homes. And at that time, I was making them for 10 cents a piece. And I think that summer I must have sold probably maybe 1,000 adobes, and I probably had $1,000. And boy, I thought I was the richest man in town because I was only 10 or 12. I had a construction career for about 20 years before I got into city government. I actually started as a carpenter at the Albuquerque Biopark, which is kind of a neat job. I was able to build a lot of the exhibits for the animals, the giraffes, koala bears, polar bears. While I was there, I worked there for about 2 years. And then I moved on to code enforcement, where I was a building inspector. And I used to do a lot of condemnations for the city of Albuquerque, which I worked for a total of 23 years. I got into the cattle business in the mid-1990s. I started raising some butcher steers so we could have meat for the family. One thing led to another, and before you know it, I was raising a cow-calf operation where I'd have mama cows and then sell the offspring. What I do now is I'm retired with the city of Albuquerque. I farm about 100 acres, in which I'm growing alfalfa and grass to feed the animals. I raise registered black Angus cattle, and I sell cows and calves, and I also sell bulls. We have a bull sale once a year in Clayton, New Mexico, and I also sell some of my bulls in Tucumcari, New Mexico. So now that I'm retired, I'm kind of doing ranching and farming full time. Teresa, she's my wife, and we've been married approximately, it'll be 20 years this coming January. It's been a wonderful experience to be married to her. She's a very kind-hearted person, works very hard, very loving. We have a nice life. I met her at a dance one day, and boy, we went to a picnic that she had with her family for the 4th of July, and her uncle played. He was a professional music person that had his own band and records, and it just seemed like from there everything just kind of fell in place. I proposed to Teresa actually at a private party. I had a bunch of friends over, and I had her mom and dad, and some of her relatives, some of her cousins and brothers and sisters. And I had her uncle bring his guitar and his amplifier, and he was able to sing a song in Spanish, Te quieres casar, which means will you marry me? And anyway, that's how I proposed to her. We've been able to live very happily, and we really love each other very much. I have 4 children, 3 daughters and 1 son. My 3 daughters are Veronica Luz, Brianna Dominic, and Ariana Salinda, and my son is Mario Ray. They are really good kids. I love them a lot. They've been able to become educated, and they're very loving children, very considerate. My oldest, Veronica, is very tall. She's about 6 foot tall, and she's kind of funny, very creative, very strong in languages. She's married, has a couple kids, and is doing a real nice job raising her family. Brianna is very beautiful. My second oldest daughter is very beautiful. She's got a heart of gold, very kind person, very thoughtful, very lucky to have her. And I've seen her help so many kids, some of her fellow classmates, when people are in need, and she's just fun to be around. She's very creative. She loves sports, which is neat for me because I have a partner in crime, and we get to watch football game, so that's really enjoyable. Brianna Dominic is really close to me. I think I'm probably the closest to her of all my kids. I love them all, but me and her kind of have a special bond. My youngest daughter, Ariana Sanchez, and right now she's actually currently enrolled at UNM with the pharmacy med school, working very, very hard. She's very smart, very disciplined person, but very, very, very kind to everybody and very helpful. And she's more of the quiet type, kind of serious, very disciplined, but really, really good kid. And my son is Mario is a paramedic with the Albuquerque Fire Department. He's married, very loving husband. He also has 3 children of his own, and he raises those kids beautifully. They're well mannered, and he's got a great life and doing well. We're very fortunate to have these kind of kids with all the success and love that they have shown me and my wife and to each other. You know, my grandchildren, I'm very fortunate to have 5 grandchildren. Man, I'm so lucky as a grandpa to be able to be in that position. I'm so proud to be able to see them being raised in a Christian life and just very respectful, and their parents are giving them all their hopes and dreams so they can become everything they can. And what a blessing that has been for me to be able to sit back and just see them grow and mature and do things with their family, and it just makes me very, very proud to be their grandfather. I am proud of being a person that I feel has helped many others. I'm very proud that I was able to serve my country. That's something that I think anybody that has served would be able to relate to that. I've had some of the top bulls here in New Mexico that have won performance bull tests. I'm very, very proud of that. My life has actually gone very, very fast. I'm 61 years old, and I started working when I was about 15. And I've had 3 major careers, so I've been able to have some career changes, which I believe helps you stay young and vibrant. You know, something that I think I'd like to share, follow their dreams. Don't be afraid to dream about something, see it, visualize it, and make it happen. And we all choose different things to do and different paths on how to get there. But man, if you can figure that out and get that going, it'll be so rewarding for you to be able to make those type of accomplishments. I would like people to remember me, I guess, in the sense that I was basically an easygoing, real well-mannered guy. You know, could talk to everybody and relate to them. You know, didn't matter what kind of walk of life they came from. I would be able to give time of myself to be able to, you know, converse with them and get to know them. I was a very, very hardworking, still am to this day, very supportive of my family. Try to do everything I could to give my children and wife a nice life and be able to succeed and hopefully be able to do some of the things they want and meet some of their dreams by really supporting them and giving them all the support they need to hopefully reach those goals. I was kind of a witty guy. I like to kind of joke around a lot, but at the same time pretty serious and disciplined about things when they need to be done and when they need to be done. So all in all, just kind of a good guy, serious about life, but also have fun and don't take things too serious.